Picture this. It's 2026. Fuel prices are doing their usual emotional roller coaster. Cities are tightening emissions rules, and you've decided your next car needs to be an EV, but not a huge one. You want the sweet spot, a small SUV footprint for easy parking, a taller driving position for visibility, enough range to live your life, and charging that doesn't make road trips feel like a hostage negotiation. So today, I'm giving you the best small EV SUVs to buy in 2026, real, current, or officially confirmed models, with the specs that actually matter. Batteries, charging, efficiency, packaging, and yes, the prices. And here's the twist. In 2026, small EV SUV doesn't automatically mean compromise. A lot of these cars are built on brand new small EV platforms, using safer and cheaper battery chemistries like LFP, smarter packaging, and more advanced thermal management than early generation EVs. That means you can get space and tech that used to belong to bigger cars without paying big car money. Let's get into it. First up, the 2026 Skoda Epiq. This one is important because it's basically Skoda's mission statement for the affordable electric era. Make it practical, make it robust, and make it roomy. The Epiq is a battery electric city SUV crossover that's been positioned right around the magic number, about 25,000 euros. In today's market, that's a huge deal because it signals a new wave of mainstream EV pricing without dropping into tiny car territory. Size matters here. The Epiq is around 4.1 meters long, which is genuinely compact, but the packaging is designed to feel bigger on the inside. Skoda has been very specific about practicality. The luggage capacity target is up to about 490 liters, which is extremely strong for this length. That's the kind of boot space that makes the car feel like a real family tool, not just a stylish city runabout. Now let's talk range and drivetrain expectations. The official target is a maximum range of more than 400 kilometers. Notice the wording. It's not saying every version will do that, but the top spec should clear 400 kilometers. In real life, the way you should interpret that is, the base version will likely prioritize price and city efficiency, while the higher versions will give you that I can actually travel capability. If Skoda hits this with decent charging performance and good cabin insulation, the Epiq becomes a logical default choice for buyers who want one car to do everything. What makes the Epiq extra interesting is design philosophy. Skoda is pushing its modern, solid language here, more functional, more rugged, and visually simpler, which usually helps aerodynamics and manufacturing consistency. And in an EV, the boring but brilliant stuff matters: aero efficiency, thermal control, and smart packaging. If Skoda nails those basics, the Epiq is going to be one of the most rational EV buys of 2026. Next, the 2026 Volkswagen ID.Cross. Think of this as Volkswagen's electric answer to the T-Cross, a compact SUV built from the ground up for the new small EV era. Officially, it's tied to the new electric urban car family and the front-wheel drive MEB entry concept. Small footprint, efficient drivetrain, and cost control so pricing can be reachable. Here's what you need to know. Volkswagen has confirmed the ID.Cross will launch at the end of 2026 as the electric counterpart to the T-Cross, following the ID.Cross concept. That's not vague, maybe someday talk. That's a planned production model with a clear timeline. Now, the price question, because I know you're waiting for it. Volkswagen has been very direct that this new small EV family is about affordability. For context, the sibling small car in the same family has been positioned in the under 25,000 euro class. For the ID.Cross specifically, Volkswagen hasn't published a final official retail price on the pages we're using here, so you should treat any exact number you see elsewhere as market reporting rather than a finalized official list price. The most honest way to put it is, the ID.Cross is positioned as an affordable compact electric SUV in the new entry EV lineup, with the brand's small EV strategy clearly centered around breaking below traditional EV pricing barriers. Technically, the core MEB entry concept gives you some useful expectations: front-wheel drive for cost and efficiency, and a drivetrain philosophy that prioritizes usable range over excessive power. The ID.2 all-tech concept, again, same small EV family, has been described with fast charging capability that can go from 10 to 80% in about 20 minutes at DC fast chargers, and a calculated WLTP range up to 450 kilometers for that concept package. Does that automatically mean the ID.Cross will match it? Not guaranteed, but it tells you the charging and battery strategy Volkswagen is aiming for on this platform. Fast enough charging to make smaller batteries feel less restrictive, and range numbers that don't scare mainstream buyers. So who is the ID.Cross for? If you like Volkswagen's driving feel, want that familiar German compact SUV vibe, but you also want the modern EV advantages, quietness, instant response, lower running costs, and you don't want to jump to a larger and more expensive ID.4 class vehicle, the ID.Cross is the one to watch. It's basically the blueprint for Volkswagen's affordable EV comeback in Europe. Now let's pivot hard into value and battery tech, the 2026 BYD Atto 2. BYD is not playing around, and the Atto 2 is a perfect example of why. It's a compact SUV built on BYD's electric architecture with their Blade battery technology, one of the most talked about safety-focused LFP battery designs on the market. Let's start with pricing, because BYD actually puts numbers on the table. In Germany, the official configurator pricing lists the Atto 2 Active at €31,990, the Boost at €34,990, and the Comfort at €41,990. That's a wide spread, and it tells you there are likely meaningful hardware differences, especially on battery capacity and charging. Battery and range. The Atto 2 lineup is interesting because it clearly separates use cases. One configuration mentions a Blade battery around 45.1 kilowatt-hours, paired with up to 463 kilometers WLTP city range. That city number is always higher than combined WLTP because stop-and-go driving lets EVs recapture energy through regeneration and run the motor in a more efficient load range. For the comfort trim, BYD lists a larger Blade battery around 60.8 kilowatt-hours and up to 604 kilometers WLTP city range. Again, that's the city figure, not the combined number, but it still signals the bigger battery version is designed for people who want fewer charging stops and more flexibility. Charging. BYD also gives clear fast charging statements. One version lists up to 130 kilowatts max DC and a 30 to 80% fast charge in about 28 minutes. The higher version lists up to 150 kilowatts and 30 to 80% in about 19 minutes. That's a big difference in time, and it matters more than people think. If you road trip a lot, a 19-minute stop feels like grab a coffee and go. A 28-minute stop starts feeling like, okay, we are waiting. So when you're shopping, don't just compare max kilowatt numbers, compare the actual percent-to-percent charging time the brand publishes. Packaging. BYD lists 400 liters of boot space on one trim and 450 liters on the larger battery Comfort. That suggests the platform packaging changes slightly, possibly how the battery pack or rear structure is configured. Either way, 400 to 450 liters puts it right in the practical compact SUV zone. Inside, BYD leans into tech. A rotating 12.8-inch screen is a signature feature, and the Atto 2 is built on BYD's E-Platform 3.0, plus CTB, cell-to-body construction. CTB basically means the battery is integrated structurally into the body, increasing torsional stiffness and potentially improving crash performance and handling stability, while also helping packaging efficiency. BYD even quantifies a stiffness increase in their CTB description, which is a rare level of detail for a consumer-facing page. So the Atto 2's pitch is simple: strong equipment levels, LFP battery tech, a clear charging story, and pricing that undercuts a lot of European rivals in similar sizes, especially when you factor in standard features. Next, the 2026 Zeekr X. This one is the small SUV big performance option. Zeekr positions the X as a luxury urban SUV, and technically it's far more aggressive than most small EV crossovers. Let's hit the specs first. Zeekr states a 0 to 100 km/h time of 3.8 seconds for the all-wheel drive version, with a dual motor system producing 315 kilowatts or 428 horsepower and 543 newton-meters of torque. That's not quick for a small SUV. That's sports car quick. Top speed is listed at 190 km/h. For range, Zeekr lists up to 446 km WLTP for the rear-wheel drive version. Braking and chassis confidence is also part of the official messaging. Zeekr highlights a 34.5-meter braking distance from 100 km/h, which is the kind of number brands mention when they're trying to prove the car isn't just fast in a straight line. Interior tech is also very premium EV. Zeekr describes a 14.6-inch central touchscreen, an 8.8-inch instrument display, and a large 24.3-inch augmented reality head-up display. That's a serious cockpit setup, and it pushes the X toward tech luxury rather than budget practicality. Now the price? Zeekr's European pricing varies by market, and what's officially visible depends on the country pages and offers. One official Zeekr Europe offer page lists the Zeekr X Business Edition, available from €34,990. That's a key number because it tells you Zeekr is capable of pricing the X in the mid-30s in at least some European offers, though you should expect different trims, taxes, and local pricing structures elsewhere. So who should buy the Zeekr X? If you want a compact SUV footprint, but you refuse to drive something slow, and you care about high-end cabin tech and strong performance hardware, the X is a standout. It's not the cheapest, and it's not trying to be. It's the premium pocket rocket of this list. Now let's go back to pure value and family usability. The 2026 Citroen C3 Aircross. This is one of the most straightforward, small electric SUV for real people plays in Europe, and Citroen is unusually transparent with pricing. In Germany, the C3 Aircross is listed from €26,490, including VAT for the electric version in the U trim. That makes it one of the lowest official starting prices for an electric SUV with real family-friendly space. And the trims go up, Plus at €28,690 and Max at €30,890 for the standard range version. There's also an extended range version listed higher, starting at €30,690 in Plus and €32,890 in Max. Power is listed at 83 kilowatts or 113 horsepower for both standard and extended range versions, which tells you Citroën is focusing on efficiency and smoothness rather than performance bragging rights. Battery chemistry is officially described as lithium iron phosphate, which is LFP, great for cost control, cycle life, and thermal stability. Range. The standard range is listed with up to about 303 kilometers, and the extended range pushes into the roughly 384 to 400 kilometer zone, depending on configuration. Those numbers are right in the daily driver plus weekend trip territory, especially if charging access is decent. Charging. Citroën provides clear charging time references in the pricing and technical document, including AC charging on an 11 kilowatt wall box and DC charging at a 100 kilowatt public station, with the DC window given as 20 to 80%. That's important. Many brands quote 10 to 80, but 20 to 80 is often a more realistic, fast part of the curve window for some battery systems. Either way, Citroën is giving you the key idea. It supports proper DC fast charging and a mainstream 11 kilowatt AC onboard setup. This is the car for buyers who want maximum practicality per euro. It's not trying to be the quickest. It's trying to be comfortable, spacious, and affordable. Classic Citroën priorities, now applied to an EV SUV package. Next, the 2026 Fiat Grande Panda EV. This one is fascinating because it hits that nostalgic meets modern vibe, but with very concrete numbers for pricing and energy use. In the official price list, the Fiat Grande Panda Electric in the red version is listed at €24,990. That's a serious headline number in 2026. The higher La Prima version is listed at €27,990. So you've got a clear entry point below $25K and a better equipped trim under $28K before you even start talking incentives in various countries. Now let's get technical. The Grande Panda EV is listed with an energy consumption of 16.8 kilowatt-hours per 100 kilometers combined under WLTP, and a maximum electric range of 320 kilometers WLTP. That consumption figure is important because it tells you the car is designed to be efficient without a massive battery, exactly what you want for affordability. Charging hardware is also clearly stated. 11 kilowatt onboard charger for AC and DC fast charging up to 100 kilowatts. In the technical section, Fiat also gives a DC charging time from 20 to 80% of about 27 minutes at 100 kilowatts. That's solid for this price class. It's not class-leading ultra-fast, but it's absolutely usable for road trips with normal brakes. The motor output is listed at 83 kilowatts, again 113 horsepower, very similar to the C3 Aircross in philosophy. Fiat is clearly aiming for the sweet spot where the car feels lively in town, stable at speed, and cheap to build and run. And the packaging is better than you'd expect. The luggage space is listed around 361 liters, expanding to over 1,300 liters with seats folded, and the turning circle is around 10.9 meters. That turning circle matters in daily life more than people admit. If you live in dense cities, tight parking garages, or narrow streets, a small turning circle can be the difference between love this car and why did I do this to myself. If your priority is, I want an electric crossover-ish shape, I want it affordable, I want modern tech like a proper touchscreen, but I also want the car to be efficient and simple, the Grande Panda EV is one of the smartest buys. Now, the Hyundai Inster EV. This is the small but surprisingly serious EV option, and Hyundai has been very transparent in Europe about pricing and configuration. In Germany, the Hyundai Inster starts at 23,900 euros for the Select trim and 25,900 euros for the Trend trim, with additional variants including a more outdoorsy Inster Cross variant listed above those. That means this is one of the cheapest officially priced EVs from a mainstream brand in 2026, and it's aimed directly at city buyers who still want SUV-like usability. Now, the technical package. Hyundai states that the Inster can be equipped with a choice of a 42 kilowatt-hour battery or a long-range 49 kilowatt-hour battery. That's exactly the right strategy for this segment. Give buyers a lower entry price with the smaller pack and a more flexible version for people who do more highway driving or simply want fewer charging stops. Hyundai also highlights vehicle-to-load capability, V2L, which means the car can power external devices. That sounds like a gimmick until you use it. Charging a laptop, powering small appliances while camping, running tools, or even helping in emergencies. It's one of those EV features that turns the car into more than transport. Hyundai also positions the Inster as having a strong technology package for the segment, including driver assistance and safety systems. And in these small EVs, safety tech matters because the cars are often used in dense urban environments where low-speed collisions, cyclists, and unpredictable traffic behavior are constant. So who is the Inster for? If your world is mostly city, suburban, or short to medium trips, and you want the lowest entry price without dropping into ultra-basic EV brands, the Inster is an easy recommendation. It's small, efficient, modern, and priced aggressively. Now we move into the coming in 2026 category from Kia, the Kia EV2. The EV2 matters because Kia is aiming to push the EV lineup downward into more affordable, urban-focused territory, and they've officially confirmed the production EV2 is expected to launch in Europe and other regions in 2026. Kia's official messaging frames the EV2 as compact yet spacious, with a flexible cabin and intuitive technology. On the European premiere page, Kia even presents trim concepts, EV2 Air, EV2 Earth, and EV2 GT line, each with distinct wheel sizes and equipment themes. That tells you Kia is planning a normal, mainstream lineup strategy here, not just a single one-spec car. Tech and cabin approach. Kia emphasizes design presence, signature lighting, a refined profile, and importantly, cabin flexibility. That flexibility is the entire point of a small electric SUV. You're buying it because you want a practical shape, not because you want a tiny hatchback. So expect rear seating and cargo packaging to be a big part of the EV2's appeal. Now, price, because we have to be precise. On the official pages we're using for this script, Kia does not publish an official final retail price figure for the EV2 yet. So the only honest way to include the price here is to say, the EV2 is officially confirmed for a 2026 launch, but official pricing has not been published on Kia's premiere and news pages at the time of this script. In other words, if you see numbers floating around online, treat them as speculation until Kia posts the actual pricing by market. So why include it in a best-to-buy list? Because when a brand like Kia commits to a compact EV SUV with multiple trims and a broad launch plan, it's usually a serious high-volume product, not a niche experiment. The EV2 is likely to land right in the heart of what buyers actually want in 2026. Compact, stylish, tech-forward, and more affordable than the larger EV3 and EV5 class. Let's do a quick reality check across the list, because choosing the best depends on what you actually need. If you want the lowest official entry prices from a mainstream European lineup, the Hyundai Inster starts at €23,900, and the Fiat Grande Panda EV starts at €24,990. Those are the two budget hero picks here. If you want a traditional small SUV family shape with an official low price, the Citroen C3 Aircross, starting at €26,490, is a standout, especially because it's clearly positioned as an electric SUV that doesn't pretend to be premium. If you want a strong tech package and BYD's battery engineering with clear trim pricing, the BYD Atto 2 starts at €31,990 in Germany and climbs with larger battery and more equipment, giving you multiple levels of range and charging performance. If you want compact SUV size but performance that embarrasses bigger cars, the Zeekr X is the wild card. 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds for ABUD and premium interior displays that look like they belong in a higher segment. And in some official European offers, Zeekr has shown pricing from €34,990 for certain editions, which is aggressive for a premium-leaning EV. And if you want the next wave of affordable EV SUVs from the Volkswagen Group, the Skoda Epiq and Volkswagen ID.Cross are the strategic models to watch. The Epiq is positioned around €25,000 with a bold practicality claim, up to 490 liters of luggage space and more than 400 max range target. The ID.Cross is officially a 2026 launch as the electric counterpart to the T-Cross, built on the new small EV family philosophy, where affordability is the entire point. For both of those, the reason they matter is simple. They represent the point where affordable EV finally meets SUV practicality without needing luxury car budgets. So here's my final advice for buying in 2026, and it's very simple. Don't buy based only on a headline range number. Shop the battery size, the fast charging time window, and how much space you actually get at this length. Because in the small EV SUV segment, the best car is usually the one that turns daily life into easy mode. Cheap to run, easy to park, quick to charge, and big enough inside to handle real errands and real people. If you want, I can also turn this into a top 3 picks conclusion for different buyers, like best under 25K, best for road trips, best for families, and best performance. But for now, that's your detailed 2026 small EV SUV shortlist, with the specs and prices that actually matter.